Even at this time of day, it's mentally busy. There's just hundreds of people everywhere. It's yeah, it's just the way it is. It's Oxford Street. That road opposite me at the moment is Bond Street, and that's where all the posh jewellers are, you know, where they have crowns made for the royals and where all the main fashion houses are based. So if you walk down through Bond Street, you know, if you were to spend something in every shop going down to there, you'd probably spend a few million. Yeah, it's very posh. We're in the posh part of London now. Oxford Street going to Mayfair. You might have seen a TV show a couple of years ago called Mr. Selfridge, all about Selfridge's the store. That is Selfridge's the store. All of it, all of this. It's absolutely monstrous. It's an elephantine store. Huge, isn't it? I think possibly my favourite fact about Selfridges is that they don't sell fridges.
Alright, so technically they do. If you go onto the Selfridges website and search for fridges, you'll find that they do sell these little desktop beer fridges and a wooden toy fridge for £150. I did say that we were going into posh country here.
Here's a little oddity. I have no idea what that is. It's obviously nothing to do with the shop. It's something much older. It's just stuck onto the side of this building. And it says at the top, oh, it just gives the name of the place, Stratford Place. How weird. Where does that door lead? Is it a TARDIS? You find me in Stratford Place in London, just off Oxford Street, because I'm here for a committee meeting of the Eccentric Club of Great Britain, established 1781, and I'm on the committee. This is where I'm going this evening. This is the Oriental Club. It's rather splendid, isn't it? You can probably see the elephant flag up there. What an amazing building. Looking forward to looking inside.
Now, the history of the Eccentric Club is by its very nature eccentric. It began life in 1781 as the Illustrious Society of Eccentrics. It then became the Everlasting Society of Eccentrics, and then the Eccentric Society Club. And it was once one of the most important institutions of British society. It's a long-established and reputable social brand, and among its members are many of the people who helped to shape modern British culture: engineers, artists, writers, politicians. And it's always had royal patronage up until his recent death. Prince Philip, the Queen's consort, was the patron of the club. But at the moment, we're at the stage where we're hunting around for a new one. Among our number, we have a chap that swam the channel while smoking a pipe. We have several people who ride penny farthings. We have collectors of all sorts of things, from hats to model railways. We have the incredible Stephen Payne, who travelled over the Alps on a space hopper. And we have Captain Beanie, a man whose whole life revolves around baked beans. He even dresses like one and has baked beans tattooed on his head. I kid you not. But a lovely chap, and he's raised an awful lot of money for charity over the years. And my final mention must be of Lyndon York, who is a self-confessed follyologist and inventor and tinkerer. I mean, he's an aviation engineer, he's an aerial photographer. I mean, the man is just an absolute genius for creating devices, and his home is just full of Rube Goldberg or W. Heath Robinson type devices. Back during the COVID lockdowns, he created a whole bunch of eccentric ways to keep socially distanced from people, and actually built them, and I illustrated them for an article that we jointly did. He's a wonderful man, wonderful, wonderful man. And now we return to our usual programming.
Hello, welcome to Colganology. It's lovely out here today. There's a lovely view with a nice spread of nice English tree species. We've got oak, we've got ash, we've got cherry. There's a little bit of hazel. There's hawthorn, there's blackthorn. Beyond here, there's a few other trees like sycamore, and there's a couple of field maples. It's really, really nice. Well, you know what this is? One of the prettiest of our native flowers. It's the first wild fox club I've seen in these meadows, right next to some teasels, look. But these things are beautiful, aren't they? And so beautifully designed to make the insect go right inside to the nectar and get covered in pollen. What a glorious thing that is. I'll soon be harvesting these, although maybe not these from this alleyway, but certainly wild ones. It's all the nettle seeds. Once they dry out a little bit, take them home, dry them out even more. Delicious. It's interesting that all the red you can see in front of you there is sorrel. All of it's field sorrel. And that means every single one of those plants that's putting up a red stalk there is an edible leaves, meadows of it. Look at the colour of this sorrel. Look at the colour this has got. Beautiful, isn't it? And you know, I eat sorrel leaves all the time, but it's never occurred to me to wonder what the sorrel seeds taste like. Here, I've got some here, well out of the dog pea zone. Oh, it's not bad, you know, it's got that same citrusy sort of sharp pop that you get with the leaves. It's not as strong as the leaves. I suspect that if you leave these to dry out, or take them home and dry them out yourself, I imagine that will concentrate the flavour a little bit. But they could be nice as sprinkling seeds, like you do with sedge, or you do with nettle seeds, for example. Oh, and before you say anything, absolutely no part of the sorrel plant is poisonous. None of it is toxic. So I knew I wasn't at any risk there trying the seeds for the first time. You do have to watch the oxalic acid. If you eat too many of the leaves, you can get an upset tummy. But other than that, perfectly fine, perfectly fine. But as always, when you're foraging, if you're not entirely sure, just don't eat it. Just don't do it. Why take the risk? Flowers now starting to appear on this tree. This is a pheasant berry, or Himalayan honeysuckle it's sometimes known as. But when the berries come later in the year, they're chocolate brown, and if you leave them until they are so ripe you can barely pick them without them bursting in your fingers, they taste like burnt caramel. They're a lovely little addition to jams and things. But we've got a way to go yet. This little flower here, growing in the verges outside people's houses, I think it's called dove's foot or crane's bill or something like that. Can't remember exactly, but it's very pretty. Very pretty. It's just growing in the verges. I'm a great fan of not cutting verges. And on that very subject, now here's an interesting discussion. I'm just walking down the street towards home, and you've got grass verges here. This one here, look, absolutely full of daisies and buttercups and all sorts of little things. This one here, been mowed by the house owner. And I'm thinking to myself, which do I prefer, that or this? I think you can probably guess what my answer is. Oh, look at all these lovely little pink flowers, look, and why would you mow all of this stuff away? All this beautiful colour, all this lovely insect food.
Mind you, it's academic anyway, because the council came and mowed the verges the day after.
Well, I've timed this badly. It is absolutely lashing down, and the wind suddenly come up from somewhere. We seem to be in the middle of a little mini storm. We are getting very, very wet here. I'm going to put my phone away, it's going to get too wet. Oh my god. Come on, Harris, let's head for cover. We're already under the trees, but it's not doing us much good. I'm going to stay in my jacket already. Good lord. We really timed this badly. Look at that. Harris, come on!
See you soon, my friends. Toodle pip.